Welcome back everybody. Today we have a very important tier list video. I've made some tier list videos before in the past and it's all relatively silly stuff. What's the best guitar brand or what's the best Fender guitar? But this topic today, this is gonna be real serious stuff. If you're looking for a fun, lighthearted video, this is not the video for you. There's gonna be war and violence in the comments section. We're gonna be ranking every single guitar pedal knob. I saw this little diagram of a bunch of different guitar pedal knobs and thought this video would be a good idea. Mind you, I don't have technically every single guitar pedal knob included here. I just took whatever ones were on this picture. Also, I don't know if all the names are correct and everything, but either way, we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. So first and foremost, we're gonna start off with the DM1510. Personally, I think this is a great knob. It's a very classic look. Really easy to turn because it has that flat top. Because of the flat top, it's also pretty easy to move it with your foot if needs be. This is just a good, solid, dependable knob. So the DM1510 is going in the A section. All right, next up we have the Boss Mid. I think there is actually another Boss knob. This one right here that has the gray plastic top with the black line. They didn't include that one on the list for some reason, but this is a pretty solid knob. I like the shiny metal top, so I think we're gonna put it in B tier. Next up we have this chrome skirt knob. I think this is a pretty cool knob. I like how it's kind of a mix of some vintage and modern aspects. I will say that because there's no position indicator on the top, I'd imagine if you're looking at your pedal board from kind of an angle, it might be tough to tell what your settings are right away. So I feel like for that reason, the functionality loses a couple points for me. So I feel like I'm gonna have to put this one in C tier. All right, next up we have this Cusack Music. I've actually never seen this knob before. I like the textured, bumpy vibe around the outsides of the knob. It looks like it's pretty well made though, so I think we're gonna go B tier. Next up we have the Dan Electro Custom. Honestly, not really a fan. These are kind of generally just like the cheapest plastic that you can get. Not super efficient, not super good looking. I think I'm honestly gonna have to go D tier. All right, next we got the classic DM1100 / Boss style knob. Never really had any problems with them. They're a good size. You can adjust it smoothly. You can also adjust it with your feet if you need to as well. I feel like this has to be an S tier. Next on the list here, we have the Chase Bliss audio knob. There's a lot of knobs in this list that are just very simple, black knob with a line down it. And I would argue that Chase Bliss kind of does it the best. You got the little grippy bumps on the sides, but it's also just very streamlined and modern looking. I think this has to be an S also. All right, so next we have the DM1140 / BYOC. Not sure what that stands for, let me know. This one kind of looks like a trash can. Also, just by the look of it, it kind of seems like a cheap plastic knob. I would also like to see this indentation kind of painted in white or something maybe. This one just looks like it's trying to do a little bit too much and I'm not a huge fan of it. I think we're gonna go D tier. All right, we got the DM1250 here. This one's a really nice, classy look. I like the kind of rounded edges on the little white position marker. Just a very nice, dependable design. I'm gonna put it in B tier because there's another knob on this list that's basically just an upgrade of this design. All right, so this one, the DM1360, looks a lot like the Boss knob. It doesn't really have the skirt on the bottom, which I guess depends on the pedal. This one might look better for some pedals over others. I still do like it because it's basically the same design as the normal Boss one, just without the skirt. So for that reason, I think we're gonna put it in A tier. All right, so we got the DM1400. This is the Klon style knob. It kind of looks like a bird a little bit with this little beak sticking out. It works really well for the Klon specifically, but I'm not sure how good it would look on too many other pedals. I feel like you need a pretty big pedal casing for it to look decent. It's not awful though. It is a pretty classic design, but I feel like I'm gonna have to go C tier. All right, next up we got the DM1900. This is kind of like almost a weird, taller, more slender version of the DM1250. It just has very slight ridges on the side. I'm not really sure how I feel about it, to be honest. I feel like it just looks a little bit weak in my opinion. I think I'm honestly gonna go D tier for it. All right, this one is the DM2300. I honestly usually associate these more with amp knobs, but they are on some pedals as well. I feel like they're just a little bulky for most pedals, just with that giant thing sticking out in the back. I just am really not crazy about it. I feel like it's just a little bit too bulky, a little bit too much. I think I'm gonna go C tier. All right, next we have the classic Electro Harmonix knob. Probably about as simple as a guitar pedal knob can get. Just all the way over matte black plastic with the tiniest little line of a position marker on top. It works great for their pedals, but when you take it out of that context, it's just a little underwhelming. Although I love EHX pedals, I think they're some of the best ever created. I'm gonna have to go B tier with this one. All right, next we have this Fender amp one. To be honest, this is a little bit of a weird one to have in the list because most Fender amps that I have seen don't usually have those kind of knobs. And the majority of Fender pedals I feel like don't have these kind of knobs either, but it's pretty all right looking. It kind of looks like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's just nothing crazy, nothing groundbreaking, so I feel like I'm gonna have to go C tier. Alright, so next we have this left-hand Wrath knob. I've never actually seen these before. It looks pretty cool. I would kind of like to see some sort of indicator on the top. Even if it was just like a little black line or something on the top, I think that'd be cool. But overall, it's pretty nice, but also looks kind of just like a cheaply made plastic one. So I feel like I'm gonna have to go C tier. Okay, next we have the Marshall amp knob. I'm not crazy about this one. I don't know what it is. I just feel like the outside part is just not very good looking. Hate me if you will, but I feel like this deserves a D tier. All right, next we have the MXR ECB071. This is the one that I was talking about that's kind of like an upgraded version of the DM1250. I like how they have the little extended skirt thing and they have the little dot on there. I think it just kind of completes the whole look. It's a very robust knob. To me, it just feels like a modernized, minimalistic version of the Boss Pedal knob. So I feel like this deserves a spot in S tier as well. Okay, next we have the Origin Effects style knob. I think this one's honestly really cool. It looks like a very well-made knob. I like the full-on silver look to it with the minimalistic black stripe. Overall, I think just really solid. I'm gonna have to go A tier. Ribbed silver top. This one kind of, to me, just seems like an upgraded version of the left-hand Wrath one. Just looks like the construction's a little bit better overall. But do I think it's A tier worthy? I think I'm going B tier. All right, this one is from Screddy Pedals. Never heard of them before. It's kind of like if the Origin Effects knob was less simplified. To me, it seems like this one deserves a B tier. All right, the Supro knob, you can just tell by looking at this thing that it's made out of really cheap plastic. Barely identifiable position marker on there. Just overall, not a great option. I feel like I'm going D tier. Honestly, you know what? Let's go crazy. We're going F tier. Actually, while we're at it, let's go ahead and put Marshall in F tier too. Just to get crazy, just to get wild. All right, next we have the Walrus audio knob. These knobs work great for their pedals because their pedal casings have a lot of really complex, intricate artwork on them. So I think keeping a pretty minimalistic knob is the right play. They also are really well made, but just nothing really groundbreaking. So I'm gonna have to go B tier. Okay, next up we have this winged Marconi design. To me, this seems like more of an amp knob, but I really like the overall design of it. It's not too big and flashy, but also seems like it's very functional and it serves its purpose. I think we're gonna go B for this one too. And last but certainly not least is going to be the Bogner style. It's kind of tough to figure out how to feel about it. It kind of looks like a top hat. The skirt is really big. The arrow is just so small. I feel like just a simple black line would look better, or just some other design, because I'm really just not crazy about this arrow thing. I feel like whereas a lot of the other highly ranked pedals you can put on really anything, this one is more of a specialized thing. So for those reasons, I feel like we're gonna go C tier with it. All right, so that's all the knobs. Let's see if there's anything I want to change around here. Honestly, I think I'm happy with this. So this right here is my final guitar pedal knobs tier list. I know this video is pretty intense. I'm not even gonna dare to look at the comments on it, but nonetheless, I really hope you guys enjoyed this silly little tier list video. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to the tier list if you wanna fill it out for yourself and send me a screenshot of your version. Let me know if there's any of your favorite knobs that were left off the list. I appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next video.